can't do the whistle, bro. I can't do the whistle, you guys. What a game. What a game. You guys, like, what time is it? It's 10 o'clock right now. The game was 10 hours ago. I am still just, wow. Game of the season, Barcelona at home to Inter Milan. I mean, to be honest, I didn't make a semifinal preview video, but I gave you my honest thoughts on what I thought was going to happen in that PSG Arsenal game. And if I'm being honest, I'm not going to lie. I thought Barcelona would make easy work of Inter. I thought, I knew Inter would score maybe a goal, but I thought Barcelona can genuinely do what Bayern did, create the chances, and be more clinical than Bayern. And in a sense, that was true. In another sense, they weren't. They were big chances that they missed, but it is what it is. We're going to get into all the details right now. But Barcelona, Inter Milan draw 3-3. And all 6 goals were bangers. All 6 goals were fucking excellent. Actually, the Dumfries goal, 5 out of the 6 goals were bangers, and the other goal, Dumfries, whatever. Dumfries header, whatever. But yeah, 5 bangers today out of 6 goals. I mean, I couldn't believe my eyes while I was watching this game. I was watching the first half. I was doing my workout at lunch, and I'm watching this. The game starts, and I'm like, all right, Barcelona, stay sharp in the back. You don't want to let Inter have any hope that they can score on you. You want to try and limit their chances early, like how Bayern did. 32 seconds in, Marcus Thuram scores a back heel off a cross. What the fuck? Let's just keep it on. Like, I was like, what the hell did I just watch? First time back heel into the left-hand corner. Chesney wasn't quick enough to react. Wow. And all of a sudden, man, that goal goes in, and I'm like, oh my God, Barcelona have just had the worst start they could have. I'm not going to count Barcelona out because they could score goals. They could come back, especially after the weekend they had against Real Madrid. But I was worried, and I'm not even a Barcelona fan. I'm just like, uh-oh, is this finally where the young Barcelona team gets stuck? And then 2-0 happens. Denzel Dumfries. Now, you guys, I don't think he's a trash player. I also don't think Denzel Dumfries is some kind of world-class player. He's average. He's decent. He scores a bicycle kick on his comeback game for Inter Milan. He's been out the past couple of weeks or so, past month, with an injury. He comes back with a bicycle kick. It's 2-0 down, and you're thinking, it's over. Inter Milan, with their supposed great defense and everything, they're going to shut up shop. And Barcelona's going to have to suffer and bleed to get at least 1 goal back. But it comes back to my point about this Inter Milan team that I made after the Bayern games. This defense is just not as strong as everyone perceives and says they are to be. They're just not that strong. They're a good defensive team. Between them, Arsenal, and some other teams, like, those are probably the best defensively set up teams in the world. But they're not some kind of Goliath, mammoth defenses that it's going to be impossible to score after going down in the game. They're not. And you saw that in the Bayern game with this Inter team that, listen, a Bayern team without their best center back, their best left back, who's also a creator, without their number 10, Leroy Sané, they were able to create 10, 11 great chances across 2 legs. There's no reason as to why this Barcelona team couldn't do that. And you saw Barcelona did that. And yes, the first goal for Barcelona, you guys, Lamine Yamal. I'm going to make a separate video on Lamine Yamal because I think we're at the stage where he's the greatest teenager to ever, at least in the modern era. The modern era of football, yeah, no teenager has been at this level and had this impact. No one has, man. No one has. You're telling me Lamine Yamal, first of all, was probably star player at the Euros and won the Euros with Spain, and now 8 months later, he's scoring an absolute worldie and having probably the best Champions League performance of the entire season in the competition as a 17-year-old in a semifinal at home against Inter Milan. Wow. And that first goal from Lamine Yamal, taking Thuram out of the game, skipping past Mkhitaryan, dribbling onto his left foot and off the post and in. Oh my God. Just oh my God. And you guys, I'm a Bayern fan, but I have not shied away from showing my support for Barcelona, largely because I am a lover of Hansi Flick and his football and his philosophy. And I watch this team. And as a Bayern fan, I enjoy watching Barcelona. I love watching Barcelona. I've watched, after Bayern, second most watched team this season for me is Barcelona. Why? I look at this Barca team, and it's literally, you guys, the 2020 Bayern team and this Barca team, not much separates them besides, not much separates them besides a more aggressive offside trap in this Barcelona team. I love watching Barcelona play. And yeah, I just knew after they scored that goal, they'll make a comeback. Barcelona at least will not lose this game. They will at least not lose this game. And what happens later in the half? Pedri with an absolute magnificent ball. By the way, before the second goal, Dani Olmo had a chance. I think Ferran Torres had a great chance. Finally, they get the second goal. Pedri, beautiful ball, finding the space, the tight space onto Rafinha's head between Jan Oral-Bissek and Denzel Dumfries, and Rafinha has the space in mind, has the composure to set it up for Ferran Torres, who's running into the 6-yard box for an easy tap in, 2-2, and we're all guns blazing. And you go into halftime 2-2, and honestly, after first half, you're thinking, oh my God, second half, we're going to get another 3, 4, 5 goals. This could be a 5-3 game, 5-4, 5-2, whatever. But the second half starts, and what do you know? Denzel Dumfries scores again off a corner, and Barcelona is a team that is weak at defending set pieces. They're not the greatest at defending set pieces. And that was exposed again today. Eric Garcia, I think it was Eric Garcia who came on for the injured Jules Koundé, who got beat on that corner for Denzel Dumfries to get his brace. And you're just looking at 3-2, and I'm looking at this Inter team. And honestly, guys, this is a good Inter team. This isn't a great Inter team. I just keep doubting them, and they keep shutting me up. I'm like, wow, they score again. I don't think they're this amazing world-class team. They're a good team. But the thing you have to admire about Inter is they are so clinical. Bro, if teams like Barcelona, Bayern, PSG were as clinical as this Inter Milan team, have been in the Champions League at least, Serie A might be a little bit of a different story. Those teams would be unbeatable. But they're not, and this Inter team is. And they're clinical, man. They get that third goal, but guess what? The game of the season just had to deliver again, because 3 minutes later, Rafinha unleashes a bullet, and Jan Sommer, I think Jan Sommer saves it. It hits the crossbar, and then in some FIFA type of bullshit goal, it bounces off the crossbar and hits Jan Sommer on the back, and it goes into the net. It's 3-3, and all of a sudden, we're back in action, and Barcelona's pushing to get the 4th, 5th, 6th goal and try to bury this tie. But at the end, it ends 3-3. I don't know. What else do you want me to say about the game? I had to pause the video because I had to go take a shit. I'm sorry. I had to go take a shit. I just got hit with the biggest wave of poop attacks ever. Anyway, what else can I say about the game? It was just great. This was the game of the season. And setting the game aside, what I think is going to happen in the second leg, I'm going to do a video on what we learned in these semifinal games tomorrow. That'll be out tomorrow, whatever. I'll go more in depth, but just talking about my raw reactions of the game, just even 10 hours later after the game still. Excuse me. It's just cool, Inter and all that. I'll give them their props in the semifinals, thoughts video, right? I look at this Barca team, man. I'm jealous. I'm just jealous, bro. Lamine Yamal, the best teenager ever. I don't care about Pelé. Dude, Messi fans, don't come after me, but I'm sorry, it's official. Messi was not this good at 17. Ronaldo, that for sure was not this good at 17. Nobody knew Ronaldo at 17. Or barely anybody knew Ronaldo when he was 17. R9 was pretty good when he was 17, but all right. Mbappe at 17 was excellent, but he was not this influential. R9, whoever you want to say, at 17, at 16, were not this good. Neymar was not this good. No. Neymar probably skill-wise was this good. Messi skill-wise was probably this good. Absolutely. But in terms of impact, the level they're playing at, Champions League semifinals, winning Euro Cups, no one has in the modern era. No one. So Lamine Yamal, bro, I'm gonna make that separate video on him. This kid is special. I love watching him play. He's just 17. And then you have in Barcelona's team, they still have Pedri. Bro, what the hell? They still have Pedri. They have Dani Olmo as the number 10. Off the bench, they have Fermin Lopez. They have Gavi coming off the bench. They have Frankie de Jong in there, who's found himself under Hansi Flick. You go to the back, they have Pau Kubarsi. Then they have Alejandro Barley, who's out injured right now. Jules Koundé. And this Barcelona team, once they continue to sort out, the club continues to sort out their financial, issues. When they get to the level where they can spend money on players again, serious money, bro, what do you want me to do? What do you want us to do? I mean, it's going to be scary, but we're looking too much into the future. This Barcelona team is fantastic. If I'm being honest, I want Barcelona to win this tie. I don't want Inter Milan to win this tie. I want PSG to beat Arsenal, and I want an absolute amazing final. PSG and Barcelona, the two best teams in 2025, the two most attractive styles of football out of these semifinalists. And that would be such a great final, bro. I just know that would be such a great final. It could be, honestly, that probably wouldn't be. Oh my god, I have the hiccups. That probably wouldn't be like a high scoring final, but it would be an entertaining 1-0, 2-1, very similar to the 2020 final, Bayern versus PSG. That was a 1-0 game, but that was a very entertaining 90 minutes. It was very entertaining. So that's the final I want. Barcelona 3-3. They just cannot and will not back down. They cannot and will not back down. Also, credit to Inter, man. Fumbling the 2-2 away from home against Barcelona. They could have crumbled. But they didn't. So credit to them. But, I saw this talking point. I think it was Thierry Henry on the CBS sports show, actually, talking about this. And I actually agreed. It all goes back to the away goals rule. You guys, when away goals was taken away from the Champions League, I thought that was a huge blow. Because the thing that made Champions League special is it's not just your standard tournament. Sure, it's with the best European teams, the Giants, tie-in matchups. I understand that. But the thing about the Champions Leagues, what made it unique was something like the away goal rule. And we've been playing many seasons now without the away goal rule. So, who cares? But it just gives you, this kind of game shows you the importance and the benefit of the away goal rule for away teams. Inter Milan now scored 3 goals away from home against Barcelona, right? And the 3 goals practically means nothing. That 3 goals practically means nothing because it's a draw, right? But if the away goals rule was a thing, Inter Milan, those are 3 away goals. This is a draw, but they have 3 away goals. And going to the San Siro now, they could draw 1-1 and still go through because their away performance was better, hypothetically, than Barcelona's away performance if Barcelona only were to go to the San Siro and draw the game 1-1. So it's just a little bit of food for thought. I saw Thierry Henry talking about it, and I understood the point. I'm like, yeah, classic Champions League rules, away performances are rewarded with the away goal rule, especially if you are the team going away first. Especially if you're the team going away first. So just a little food for thought. I'm just turning on the camera and talking at this point. It was a great game. I just realized that the whole video now as well, I did not bring up the scoreline or anything. I do it all the time. I pull it up, I share my screen, and I don't actually share it with you guys. Yeah, 3-3, whatever the stats, if you want to see them, who cares? We're not stats merchants out here. We are not stats merchants out here. 3-3, excellent game. Game of the season. Dumfries back with a brace. Lamine Yamal, best attacker, at least the most entertaining player in the world, 100%. I mean, the performance he had today, destroying Bastoni, destroying DiMarco. He was putting DiMarco and Bastoni on skates. It looked like DiMarco and Bastoni were no match for him. For a lot of moments in this game, it looked like Lamine Yamal was in their heads, thinking 3 steps at a time. There was a chance where Lamine Yamal, he puts DeMarco on his ass, cuts onto his left foot, fake shot, whatever, pivot, and he shoots from such a tight angle and he hits the crossbar. You guys, the game was just crazy. If you haven't watched the highlights, go watch the highlights. If you have, bro, honestly, this is the kind of game where I recommend going back if you can and watching the full 90 minutes. It was an excellent tie. And it's 3-3, and they're going to the second leg at the San Siro. I still favor Barcelona to go through. And I'm going to be honest, I want Barcelona to go through. Is what it is. Maybe Inter Milan next week will prove me wrong, and I'll look like an idiot, and I'll have to make an Inter Milan apology video. But I just think this Barcelona team, there is this sense of inevitability around this Barcelona team, very similar to that 2020 Bayern team under Hansi Flick. This Hansi Flick Barcelona team, they just look like they will score on you, and they will outscore you if they need to. It's just this era. There's this era of just unstoppability with this team, and I think that's what will get them through to the final. It's been your boy Hokage. That's all I gotta say. Peace. Show me some love. Like, subscribe, whatever you want. It's been your boy Hokage. I'll see you guys in the next one. Tomorrow I will be releasing what we learned, my thoughts, official, more refined thoughts on what we learned from the first legs of the semifinal ties. But until then, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Peace and love. Peace and love.